Welcome to our Good Friday meditation. I am so glad that you are joining together with us again during this year's Holy Week observances. Yesterday we learned about Maundy Thursday and shared a few observations. We want to do the same on the day called Good Friday. Have you ever really wondered about why the church calls it Good Friday? With all the graphic details about Jesus, the Son of God's trial, beatings at the hands of the Roman soldiers, and then the barbaric torture of a Roman crucifixion. As horrific as all that was, how can that day be called good? Well, it can be called good because as Christians, we believe Romans 8:28, and we know that in all things, God works together for good of those who love him, who have been called according to his purpose. Certainly, Jesus loved God the Father and was called according to God's purposes. As I read and listened to the scriptural account of the events that day at the end of Jesus' earthly life and ministry, I was struck with this thought. We should be greatly thankful for Pilate. I had not seen or even said that before. But two things that Pilate did that day stood out boldly to me, and I think we should thank Pilate for it. First, in John's Gospel, I read that 3 times Pilate declared this truth. In John chapter 18, verse 38, and John chapter 19, verse 4, and verse 6, Pilate declared, "I find no basis for a charge against him." Pilate, the legal judge and jury, after examining the evidence, said, Jesus is innocent. He is not guilty. Pilate agreed with God and was a part of God's plan that we read about in 2 Corinthians 5:21. God made him who had no sin to be sin for us, so that in him we might become the righteousness of God. Wow. Are you glad that Pilate legally declared Jesus innocent? And 3 times, no less. Then I saw the second reason to thank Pilate. Again, it's recorded in all 4 gospel accounts of that day. We read that Pilate put a sign on Jesus' cross for all people to see and read. He had it written in all 3 of the primary languages of that day. And that sign said this is Jesus, the King of the Jews. Did you hear that? Jesus, not only innocent of the charges, without sin, but declared by the Roman authority that day that he was King of the Jews. When the Jewish religious leaders complained, Pilate said, "What I have written, I have written." And it wasn't changed. When he comes again, all of the nations, tribes, and people will say with Pilate, "Here is Jesus, King of Kings, King of the Jews." Pilate testified with the Old Testament prophets that the Messiah, Jesus, was going to become King of the Jews in the line of David. May Good Friday bless you this year with the thoughts of thanking Pilate for finding Jesus innocent of the charges and declaring for all to see and know, this is Jesus, the King of the Jews. Amen. God bless you, and remember, Easter is coming.